Okay, so I think we're live. Hold on a quick second while I tell the folks that we're at the new site. Okay. Okay, well, this is Greg Andruck, and this is the Business Freedom Conversation live. Oh, hi, LinkedIn user. So if anybody has any comments, questions, confusion, so I had an incident last Thursday afternoon where LinkedIn abruptly closed my account. I shouldn't say close it, they suspended it because they wanted me to verify identity with a driver's license. I had previously tried to do that about a month ago, but my driver's license has Gregory on it, not Greg, and they wouldn't accept it. So apparently in the last month they've changed. But what happened was when they suspended it, it scrambled everything. And they apparently canceled the live stream, even though they allowed people to be invited to it and they allowed me to post things on it. It's just the mechanics, and they also changed the time. I don't know if you noticed, but on the first live stream for today was supposed to happen at 7 a.m. my time, and I don't know how they changed that, but whatever. Here we are when we're running, and like I said, anybody has any questions, I'd love to know if anybody wants to put in the chat where they are. I'm going to put something in the chat right now and see if it works. Boom, it worked. Let me put it here. Is it in the chat? So today, we're going to talk about the elements of success and how to put them into play. And this is kind of a recurring theme. Last month, we talked about finding your passion. This is also part of your passion, but it's a continuance of it. And then next month, I've got something else planned to build upon this. What I just posted in the chat is if you would like to have the free talent assessment and the free skills, the free passion audit and the free skills and talent assessment, just click on that. That also is on the old live stream post, and I will put it there on the new one when I'm done with this live stream in a few minutes. So anyhow, let's get started with what we're talking about on how to create a formula for success. And as I mentioned last month about finding your passion, people who find their passion are the ones who are successful. And there's a commonality amongst Nobel Prize winners, Olympic medal winners, World Series champions, star athletes, amazing scholars. They all really are so interested in the thing they're doing that they would pretty much have done it for free. I have some videos that I'll be running soon that show. I start with Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Howard Schultz. He's the founder, or really not really the founder, but he's the one who made Starbucks, where there's a Starbucks in every corner type of thing. And am I leaving anybody out? But I've got 6 billionaires. Oh, Jeff Bezos, where I've got about a 15-minute video of them all saying, you got to find your passion, because if you don't find your passion, you're just not going to succeed. It's too difficult. So let's start with the elements of success, because Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Howard Schultz, Elon Musk, they're all really successful people. And there's, let me go into the slides. There's 4 elements of success. And I ran some ads to attract people to this live stream, and I gave out the first one, and that's intrinsic motivation. And we'll get into what that is. The other element of success is perseverance. And the third one is building a strong foundation. And the fourth one is learning and growing always. So I'm still a licensed CPA, and I have to do 40 hours of continuing education. I've had times where I've done as much as 100 hours, because things are changing so much that if you don't stay out in front of it, you make mistakes, or you get lost, or both. So that learning and growing always is the capper for somebody that's going to be successful. So let me start moving the slides along here. So I like this picture about motivation because motivation isn't on the surface. When you peel away the layer, you find out why somebody does what they do. And that's the critical part, is why are they doing it? I mean, what drives you? And in this process, we have a passion audit. If you want it, it's free. I will send it to you. It's not mine. It's developed by Ruth Gautian. She's a wonderful person, PhD. Can't say enough about her work, and she has studied successful people and really driven, come to this singular point that it's passion that drives this whole thing. So find your motivation. What is it that you like to do? What's the ideal thing you would be doing when you get up in the morning? Like Warren Buffett, who, if he hadn't already given away, do you realize that Warren Buffett's given away $37 billion and he has a net worth of around $70 billion. But if he hadn't done that, he'd be the second richest person in the world behind Elon Musk. So, and he says he would have worked for this guy, Ben Graham. Ben Graham wrote the book on stock analysis in the 30s and updated it many times. And he would have worked for him for free because he was so interested in what Ben's work was. Find what that thing is that makes you tick. So there's two types of motivation. There's intrinsic and there's extrinsic. Extrinsic is when you do it for the medal, for the money, for the title. Generally speaking, the extrinsic motivators don't carry you in the long run. It generally has to be something that you genuinely like, because I know we all like money, but to do it just for the money, there's some people that are able to become extremely successful only interested in the money, but generally, because of all the disappointment that occurs and how dynamic life is, it's the intrinsic one that carries you. What ticks inside of you? And the next thing, too, to be realistic, is to find, what are you good at? If you want to be a center on the Lakers and you're 5'6", it's probably not going to happen because you don't have the tools for that. Or if you're interested in some other field like physics, but you don't like math, it's not going to work. What are you good at? What is the thing that you like to do? One needs to make an assessment of what you're good at. That's why we're combining the passion audit, what you like, with the talent and skills assessment, like what are you capable of? And it's matching those two things. And now it's success. The overriding theme and why we're spending all this time and talking about this so much is success can be learned, but it has to be this matching. Here's the most intrinsic part. When we talk about internal, this is the most intrinsic part, is finding your purpose. What is it that you really get driven by? What is it that you really want to change in the world? That what you want to make a contribution to and what you enjoy doing. Now, this is an interesting one. This is what Ruth Gautian in her book, Success, has determined is what makes over the long run, success possible for somebody that has a huge intrinsic motivation and the skills and talent to match it, is finding the flow state. Now, what does that mean? That means that when you're doing the thing that you're really passionate about and that you love, that you are going to be in this state where it's just flowing. And then the last part is to have your strategies. Nobody starts out as a Nobel Prize winner. Nobody starts out as a gold medal winner. Nobody wins the Super Bowl or rarely, I should say, or the World Series or the Stanley Cup, right out of the box when they're 18 years old. It takes strategies how to get into that position, how to utilize your talents, figuring those things out. What's an overriding theme in all of this that you're going to see is what I'm giving you now is the what. It's the how is where you bump into things that make it difficult to execute. And that's for later times we get into that. But no, you have to start with the what. What is it? And what are the pieces that'll make this all work? So I like this image for perseverance, the second element of success, trying to push that rock up the hill. So the pieces of perseverance are the work ethic. If you don't like what you're doing, you're not passionate about it. And you have to have this work ethic that you want to do it, and it doesn't drain your energy, that you want to do that item. Now, failure and rejection, if failure and rejection stop you doing the thing that you maybe intellectually say that you are passionate about, this is how you're going to find out whether you're really passionate about something, is related to failure and rejection. Failure and rejection to the most successful people are only guidelines and stepping stones and learning experiences. And in fact, they don't really label anything as a failure. It was another stepping stone or part of the process to get to the next step, which brings us to this one. This one's really critical. And this one's why it probably needs to be intrinsically based. There's a huge humility about what needs to be done, that when you find out you don't have something you need for the item that you're passionate about, is this humility to make the assessment and to really make changes in yourself and get the things that you really need to stay on track to do the thing that you've identified your passion on. This is another thing that runs through all champions and prize winners and intellects, is the fear of not trying, that they're so in love, and that's for you to find something that you really want to do and that you really want to deliver, and you don't want to have this fear that because you didn't do it, it didn't happen. And the connecting the dots is putting all these things together. Again, sort of like talking about the work ethic, failure and rejection, humility, and fear of not trying. You're connecting the dots of applying your skills and talents to the thing you're really passionate about, that you really want to do. So this, I thought, was a good picture of setting a good foundation. It's one thing to say you want to do things, it's another thing to do it. Say something you want to do. So then we're not talking about an intellectual exercise here. We're talking about something that's in your core to find what you want to do. And that's critical, I think, in business, because there's so many disappointments in business, and change can come when you least expect it. So building a strong foundation is mastering the basics. Whatever it is in your field of study or your industry where you are, is to be involved and master those basics. Ask the right questions. This is critical. I mean, that I think ties into failure and rejection. There's no embarrassment to ask questions. You're not putting on a show. You're really involved with something, and you're going to find out, what do I have to do to make it work? The next thing is cultivating mentors. Find out people who've done what you do. Find people that are successful in your industry or your profession or your sport, whatever it is that you are passionate about, and find people that are doing the things the way you would like to do them and befriend them. Learning from others. This is another humility exercise. This is where looking at other people gives you ideas and working with them, and it goes hand in hand with cultivating mentors and asking the right questions. So the next step, the next element, the third element of success is learning. I thought this was on target. Learning and growing always. So one needs to map a path. You've probably heard this in business, that you're not going to be successful if you don't have a plan. Well, I think that this is beyond the plan. This is for you. How are you going to proceed? And then your plan, your personal plan, is the one that you're going to extend into your business, and map a learning path, because you won't be blindsided then. Find your community. Whoever is like-minded like you in your industry, your sport, your profession, whatever it is that you're pursuing, and find that community and become a prominent member of it. Be there for the process. Again, we're talking about that intrinsic side where you're interested in the process, and the more interested in the process is, the amazing thing is, the results come. This one I find critical, and I have done a lot of this in my career, is looking at every angle. You don't stop when it doesn't work the first time. You keep looking at things. I can't tell you how many people over the years have told me, well, I don't see how that can be done. We can't do that. And it's when you look at every angle of the thing you really want to get done, you find a pathway. It's amazing. It's sort of like, luck is the result of hard work. And then learn by watching. When I'm interested in something, I try to find the people that are doing what I want to do and find out, how did they do it? What did they fail at? What were they successful with? What worked for them? What didn't work? And see what I can do in my circumstance to get it to work. And then the last one is learning by experience. What's amazing about the learning by experience is get your hands dirty. So many people, and I think it goes all the way back to these other slides that are previous to this. If you're not embarrassed to fail or get your hands dirty, it's funny how you become more successful because you learn and you get a feel for it. So all of these things are kind of tied together. But if you aren't interested in finding out the latest thing about whatever you're doing, maybe you need to find something new to do because this takes a lot of effort. So this is an interesting one where we're getting down to what does it take? And so we're coming down to that skills, training, knowledge, and experience. And I've just been calling it a skills and talent assessment. But these things tie together. They tie together dramatically with the 4 elements of success. And you start out, finding what you really want to do, and then you start seeing if it's possible by applying the skills. And the skills are developed too. So just like success can be learned, so can the improvement of your skills and talents. You may not have the ability to do what you want now, but you will in the future by assessing your talents. It kind of comes under that category that if you don't measure it, it doesn't happen. And I totally believe in that you have to start measuring things. You have to start taking an assessment of what do you have and what does it take to get the job done. That's what I find when like I said, where a lot of people have told me on certain projects, we're not going to be able to do that. Really, all it was a gap between the resources and the outcome, and figuring out how to fill that gap between the resources and the outcome is critical. And this is something that I think a lot of people, and this is I think probably the biggest stumbling block to success, is not making these measurements of yourself, because it gets very personal that you're going to find out what your capabilities are when you start measuring your skills and talents and start thinking about applying them towards the thing that you want to do. Again, that's when reality, humility, a thirst for knowledge, all that comes in. So skills and talents, there's 4 segments to this. It's what you love to do and things you are good at because you have to be. We all have those things that you just have to do because to function in society or in your business or in your job, that you have to do certain things and you have to be reasonably good at it or just plain good at it to stay employed or keep your business afloat, that type of thing. There are certain things that you shouldn't do. And that I think this may be one of the best things that comes out of a skills and talent assessment. And like I've said before, the one that we use is provided by this company in London, Capfinity, and they are the most business-oriented one in the world. 4 million people take it per year, which means every minute of every day, someone is taking that skills and talent assessment, and it shows the things you shouldn't do. And I think that would be enlightening. How relieving would it be to take one of these assessments and find out a task you're not doing well at in your business that you don't really like? You should outsource, give it to somebody else, do something, get it off your plate, because you're hurting the team, your business, whatever you're involved with, because you continue to do it. Now, this is the most wonderful thing about doing a formal skills and talent assessment, is your hidden skills and talents. They will become readily knowledgeable And you're going to find things that you're good at that you're not applying. And when I do this for people, it's interesting to find out how many people really didn't know that they had this certain hidden talent, that because they haven't been using it, and that they could be benefiting from it. Their business could benefit from it, their team, their profession, whatever you're working on could benefit from it once you know that if you got yourself in a position. That this last one, the skills and talents, once you reveal them, comes into that personal map of yours of how do I move along the path to accomplish what I want to, of what I really like and am passionate about. So here we are. Yes, I like it. The things that you like. And here's what's interesting about those. If you do something and you're not tired when it's done, even though you may have worked on it all day, that's something you're really good at, and it doesn't sap your energy. If it releases your dopamine, that stuff in your brain that makes you light up, then you know. Like some things that people do, it's easier to figure this out. Like when you are, say, you're a runner and you run and you win the gold medal, it releases a lot of dopamine. But then when you get older and you're not competing, maybe just running along in the morning releases that same dopamine because you really like that activity. There's activities in business, there's activity in science, there's activities everywhere that will release that dopamine because they intrigue you, you really like them. You have a high skill level at it. Remember we were talking before of the 4 elements of success? You tend to be good at it. You may need some training, you may need some education, you may need some mentoring and coaching, but when you pursue it, you have a high skill level, which encourages you to go further. And that means going into the learning and all the other things that are the 4 elements of success. And the other thing is you identify with the outcome. So when LinkedIn ran a survey, small business owners, it was about 20% of the time said the reason they started a small business is they wanted to make an impact on the world. That's this one. People, 1/5 of you out there have started your business or bought your business because you wanted to make an impact on the world, which means identifying with the outcome that you have and can put on the business community, the world at large. So I like this little one with a guy pulling on a responsibility. So this is the one that we talk about that you have to do. There's certain things you have to do that are a necessity. And so things you are good at because you have to. You burn out if you do these too much. So if you have these things that you're good at, but you really don't like them, if you get put in a position to do them too much, then they drop into the things that you shouldn't do because you have burnout, and then it depends that your performance drops. And this is where we talked about in the 4 elements of success, and one of the sub-elements was the strategy. This is the strategy to keep you at the right level of the things you have to do and be good at, but you don't really like doing. Usually it's a necessary evil, like processing payroll or, some other task that you don't like that you have to do. It's a necessary evil because if you don't do it, then there's bigger problems elsewhere. You're reasonably competent means you can get it done, but maybe you should be looking at who else can do it that might do better. And you need balance with it. That's what we're talking about, of eliminating the burnout, having a strategy where you're not in this position too often. And you know what? These things change. That's why it's important to do a skills and talent assessment every year, because they change. And you may have some things that drop into this category. And think about the impact in your business. If you can shift these things that you have to do to somebody that really likes them, it's called synergy. So here's the one. I like this one. This is for the things that you shouldn't be doing. And we all have those because we dislike them so much. We drag our feet. It doesn't happen. But I'll tell you what's important about identifying these. The number one problem with why employees shift into quiet quitting, or worse yet, active disengagement, is the boss doesn't do the thing he doesn't like. In other words, he doesn't give clear direction, or he or she doesn't give clear direction because you're doing something you are not good at. And a lot of times these things you'll shift to a subordinate without giving them clear direction because you don't like to do it. You're generally not good at it. And then if you're doing it with members of your team or staff, it goes south, pretty quick. And it's not a good thing. The things that you're not good at tend to frustrate you and burn your energy quickly. And that's what probably helps and contributes to the deterioration of your performance. So this is why it's really critical to know these things. Others should take your place. That comes into the strategy thing too. When you figure out you're not good at these things, you're not getting the performance you need to find someone that is good at them and does like them and have them take your place. And again, it's not a good use of resources if you're spending your most precious asset, your time, doing things that you don't like. This is a complete antithesis of a passion audit. And you see how all these things fit together and help you become successful by eliminating and minimizing the things that you don't like and moving them off to someone else helps you become more successful, changes your outlook, and wait till you see the next one. Okay, I really like this slide. This is the hidden nature, your hidden talent. It's the golden egg among the dozen, and it really is beneficial to find these things that you're not utilizing and figure out where in your organization and your team that you can utilize these skills. Hidden skills and talent. It's generally something you're really good at, and sometimes people don't even know this. It has to be measured for them to have the thought like, well, wow, I could do that. I'm good at that. It's underutilized. And the benefit of this is once you uncover these is to find your opportunities. This is like finding your pathway to success, is to find the opportunities that you can use those hidden talents of yours that you either knew or had an inkling of, but were not applying. And this kind of comes into the whole passion side of things too, is if you're really passionate about a task or purpose, or you will find how to apply your maximum talents in every area because you really like what you're working on. And what's most amazing about these hidden talents is it opens new doors. It gives you a new perspective on how to run your business, live your life, succeed at your job, whatever it is that you're doing. It's going to open up new doors and have you become a different person because you're now using these skills that have been heretofore underutilized. So those are the pieces of how to become successful and then how to find the skills and talent necessary to be successful. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I have this link in the chat, and I'm also going to post the link on the new live stream because of LinkedIn turning off the old one. How funny that when they turned it off, they reset the start time to 7 a.m. But didn't notice any of these things, and they didn't give me a letter or anything about it. They just reset the account once they took my driver's license. So I hope you all enjoyed that. This is Greg Andruch, the Business Freedom Conversation live stream. We'll have another one in a month, and it's going to build on this subject matter of how for you to plan and create your own formulas for success, how to fix the things in your life and business that will make you not only successful, but happy. And generally speaking, you're going to make more money because you're doing the things that please others as well. Just think about how, when all this fits together, how powerful and valuable it is. So I'm going to close this live stream. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you can get the free items that they don't come from me, it comes from Capfinity, and this is Ruth Gauthien's Passion Audit. Highly recommend looking at it. It's going to change your life. So thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next one.